$500,000 to first in the NFL Best Ball Championship on Drafters. Can a zero running back team win the cumulative scoring format? We're going to find out tonight here on Spike Week.
1. Liftoff.
Hello, welcome, happy Friday for my live listeners. If you have not been around for one of our Drafters NFL Best Ball Championship live stream drafts, you're in for a treat, because before I hop into this draft, I have to let you know that we, of course, are giving away a free ticket to the Drafters NFL Best Ball Championship in every single one of these live shows. If you are watching, I am, as we speak, posting a Google Sheet. It's pretty simple. Google Sheet in the chat right now. In the first column, put your name, username, email, what have you. At the end of the draft, we'll spin the wheel. Whichever name it lands on that sheet gets a free ticket to the Drafters Best Ball Championship. $15 every single show that we do one of these drafts. Also, little minor announcement. If you are a current subscriber or you subscribe to the Spike Week Premium Tools, there's a link to get those in the description. You will get, from now till the end of June, if you are signed up now or you sign up before the end of June, you will also get a free ticket to the Drafters NFL Best Ball Championship. We have a wonderful little partnership with the folks over at Drafters, and they are giving every Spike Week subscriber a free entry into their Drafters tournament. If you have not signed up yet for Drafters, you can also use promo code SPIKE. If you use promo code SPIKE, you will get a deposit bonus of 100% up to $100. So you deposit $100, you get a free $100. You also get a free $15 entry into the Drafters tournament, a whole bunch of free entries. And of course, you can win one for free here live on the show. But let's just get right down to it, right? The point that we're here to do is to draft. So I'm currently logging into Drafters. I probably should have been logged in before we started this. But let's fire the draft. It's Friday. We're here to draft. We're not here for any other tomfoolery. Let's get to it. Let me share my screen. Looks like we need seven of you fine folks hanging out with us. Shout out. We got lots of dogs. Shout out Fantasy Dog. Thank you for the like. While you're on your way in, wow, draft is filling quickly. We only need one more to fill this draft, so that's nice. While you're on your way in, the show is free. All it costs is a quick like. It's great for us, so we can keep the shows live and free for everybody. And it's good for we're trying to grow the space. Our good friends at Drafters. Any like, any subscribe is good. Yeah, I like this. Charles says, my bad, I entered the drawing before I hit the like. Auto disqualification. Obviously not an auto disqualification. But next time, get it together. So, obviously, been playing on Drafters for the last few years. For those unfamiliar, if you're watching this, you're probably familiar. But if anyone is unfamiliar, it's a little bit of a different site from a best ball like tournament format perspective compared to, say, Underdog or DraftKings or FFPC as well. It is what you'll hear me say plenty over the course of the summer, cumulative scoring. We do need just one more. If anybody's around here and you want to hop in this draft, I see you folks watching. We just need one more. It is cumulative scoring. So what does that mean? It means we're going to draft here tonight. There's going to be 12 of us in this, me and 11 other folks in this draft. The only time that these 12 people are relevant is for the draft. Nothing else. Nothing else matters. We are trying to beat all. There are 186,672 potential entrants in this tournament. Historically, these tournaments haven't filled all the way. It is on a pretty good pace so far. Already almost up to 8,700 in early May is really, really nice. But what it means, as Charles says, it means week 17 is worth the same amount as week 1 and week 2 and week 3, and we're filled. Week 4, right? Every week there are 17. How I like to think about it on, say, Underdog and DraftKings. I was really hoping for the influencer 101, and we are definitely in a friends and family draft here. I think I know every one of you guys in here. So that's not great. I mean, it's great because we're going to have fun. What's the point? We're here to hang out and have a good time in the draft. But might be a little bit of a tough room. We shall see. Oh my gosh. It didn't register that Tom is in here. Shout out our good friend Tom in the Fantasy Sanctuary for joining us. But obviously, the week 1, week 2, week 3, etc., all being just as important as one another. But why is that relevant? Is because a lot of best ball content and a lot of people are focused on Underdog or even DraftKings or whatever, where there's a regular season, which is 14 weeks. And even though it's 14 weeks, it feels like it's so long. It feels like more important, right? The regular season. It feels like it's so many of the weeks. It feels right. And we just want to get to the playoffs. You hear everybody talking about, I advanced this many teams. But in reality, that's 25% of what we care about in terms of the journey to the end. It's probably even less than 25% of like the impact on how well we do in the regular season. For instance, I had a fairly significantly below average advance rate last year. There's tons of people that when week 15 got here last year on Underdog had awesome advance rates. 30, 40, 50% advance rates. But if your teams aren't structured for weeks 15, 16, and particularly week 17 on Underdog and DraftKings, it kind of doesn't matter. There's levels to that. Of course, it matters how many teams you advance, but it sort of doesn't matter because each right, weeks 1 through 14 is 25% of the journey. Weeks 15 is 20. Weeks 15 is 25%, 16 25%, and 17 25%. But then week 17 is kind of where all the money is. So maybe it's even more than 25%. Here on Drafters, quite literally, every single week counts the same. Some weeks will have higher scoring. Some weeks you'll separate more from the field, but they all count. There's 17 steps in the Drafters journey. And so it's a very, very different game. Can something like a zero running back win? Yeah, it has won on Drafters. So that maybe potential myth has been debunked, but it is a little bit of a trickier process. As I get on the clock here at the 112. Wow, my guy B. Kurt is abandoning the Spike Week brand, taking Christian McCaffrey in the first round. Marvin Harrison. And then I'm going to take my guy Devontae Adams just to get a little slightly different flavor over Drake London. I do like Devontae Adams. Dare I say, I like Devontae Adams a little bit more on Drafters. I like him on all. I like him on period. But just a slightly little different texture to the Marvin Harrison team here, and pretty big fan of Devontae Adams specifically on Drafters. Hello, Eli. Welcome. Not much of a reg. Make sure still that you put your entry in the Drafters sheet. I will post that one more time in the chat and probably another time or two later. If you're watching, there's a link to the Google Sheet to be entered to win the free ticket at the end of the show. Yeah, this is pretty funny. Charles says at least Drafters put in the bye weeks already. Yeah, they are the first ones. They were the first ones. Our friends at Drafters are crushing it this year, man. They're on it. They're making improvements everywhere. And some other sites have struggled to get the bye weeks in there, and Drafters got it up right away. Yeah, Tom says he was all ready to reach on Debo in the. I believe right before this, I was looking at old Twitter.com, and Tom was tweeting about Debo. So he was going to try to reach on him, and already gone in our. This is definitely a wide receiver heavy room, but nothing super crazy. Tebow says Drafters is on top of it as always. The best ball site by far. I'm also just going to totally warn you guys. Right before we started, I sneezed like 4 times. If you hear me sniffling, I totally apologize. And if I happen to sneeze before I can hit the mute button, you can feel free to yell at me, but I'm just warning you ahead of time that may happen. It's possible. Let me see how. I really don't like covering the board. Let's do this. Let's stick to this so we can see a little better. Fantasy Dog asks, full PPR. Yeah, sorry, I should have said this during the beginning. Obviously, it's the cumulative scoring, so we got to beat these 200,000 people, 150,000 people in total points from weeks 1 to week 17. And yes, it is full PPR. So the difference there is, of course, Underdog is half PPR. Drafters is full PPR. DraftKings is full PPR with bonuses, meaning if you get 300 yards passing, you get 3 extra points on DraftKings. If you get 100 yards rushing or 100 yards receiving, or both, you get 3 extra points for each bonus that you hit. So DraftKings is the only site that does the bonuses. Underdog is the only site with half PPR, and Drafters is the site with no bonuses and full PPR. Keep that one straight. I'll take that to your next trivia night and see if anybody knows the differences in the scoring systems. But I really do think, obviously I've made it well known. If you're watching this, you're definitely a sicko. Friday night hanging out with all the other sickos drafting a best ball team. Clearly made it known, certainly this year, but also over the course of several years, that I'm a big proponent of the zero running back strategy and just the zero running back kind of pillars and tenets by which that bases itself on, if you will. Okay, this is interesting. I don't have any Josh Allen yet. So let's actually do a Josh Allen team. A little, excuse me, a little different flavor. Some more different flavors. I really don't want Travis Kelce. I'm not going to lie to you guys. So I don't have T yet. I don't have any T. So no Josh Allen yet and no T Higgins yet for me on Drafters. So let's go that route a little bit here. But I still keep going back. I'm not going back and forth, but I keep trying to hone in on my thoughts in terms of zero running back on Drafters. And I think the big thing that, has been the pushback on that strategy on a cumulative scoring site is, again, to the original point that I say on basically all these shows, week 1 matters just as much as week 17. And a big reason why zero running back can be successful is it gets stronger over the course of the year. It may not be as strong week 1 or week 4 as it is in week 17. So naturally, on a site like Drafters, you may think, can it really work then? Because I might not be getting those running back points like, the Christian McCaffrey team is getting more running back points than my team that I'm drafting here most likely is going to get in the first part of the season. The difference is that this year, even more so than any other year in the history of fantasy football, the quality of running back that you can get in the mid to late rounds is so much stronger that you don't have to sacrifice early season running back points anymore. Now, I'm going to say this name. I will not get him because I know this room that I'm in. I know all you guys. I don't mean that you're intentionally going to snipe him from me, but I mean that you're on some of the same players that I am on. And Devin Singletary is the starting running back for the New York Giants, is a workhorse running back with no real threats to his workload. We can say whatever we want about Tyrone Tracy, and he's getting steamed up, and that's fine. But Devin Singletary projects for nearly all of the work in the New York Giants backfield. That is a player who historically would be going significantly higher. And I don't have his ADP on drafters in front of me, but he goes outside of the top 100, right? So you can get elite quarterbacks, all the wide receiver firepower you need, and still get early season running back production. So I think if you think about it, with all the wide receiver prices, it dries up with the big upside players and even the high floor players, by round 6 or 7 at wide receiver. Elite tight end drives up round 8, round 9. Elite quarterback, similar. But then we land in a pocket of running backs where once the faucet shuts off for the elite wide receivers, the elite quarterbacks, and elite tight ends, we just so happen to have this next pocket of Bengals running backs and Steelers running backs and Titans running backs and Cardinals running backs and Devin Singletary and Washington running backs, and pick your flavor, right? There's a ton of different guys that go in that little pocket of the draft, which is also happens to be that pocket where zero running back teams need running backs, because you have already taken, so I have a quarterback here. I already have 3 wide receivers. Take a couple more wide receivers, maybe a tight end. And now it's like, okay, I'm really, really strong at these other positions. Time to dive into the running backs. And the market now just hands them to you. Just on a silver platter, you now have these exact running backs to fit the drafters format. I do need to look at tight end here and see what I do like Evan Ingram, and I'm not probably going to get Ferguson or Njoku. So I'm going to take now. Boy, you want to talk about wide receiver drying up. Look at this. I mean, golly. Oh my gosh. I got to take Kittle. Kittle over. It's a little, look, I like Evan Ingram, but we can't be taking Evan Ingram over George Kittle, guys. Come on. And I do like Evan Ingram. I keep getting Evan Ingram on DraftKings for some reason. I'm not particularly sure why, but I keep getting Evan Ingram on DraftKings. I'm gonna have a little more Kittle over here on drafters, I think, with this price. That's funny. Tebow says, as soon as I started talking about tight end and I didn't want Ingram, Kittle was right there, and he wanted the San Francisco little stack there with Deebo Samuel and George Kittle, which is a good one. Star Kindler. Let me see. Where? Picking 10th. Oh, nice. That's so here's the question. Takes for the audio folks, which I'm getting the podcast feed fixed ASAP. AJ Brown, Kyron Williams, Xavier Worthy, Travis Kelce, Patrick Mahomes, Hollywood Brown. What a GOAT move by drafters to change his name. Triggering for the data backend feeds, but changing his name from Marquise to Hollywood as his display name is pretty badass. I think we should. I would like to petition to move every player's name on draft boards to whatever we verbalize them as. If you have a nickname, we should call you right by that. There's not that many guys, but like if we call you Hollywood Brown, let's change it to Hollywood Brown. I'm on board. I'm very much on board with all this. I didn't know. So Sleeper did it too, I guess. When did this become a thing? When do we just arbitrarily change guys' names to their nicknames? His name is Marquise. His name's not Hollywood. I know we call him Hollywood. But yeah, I guess Tank. Yeah, Nathaniel. His first name's Nathaniel. So maybe Tank. Yeah. You're right. You're right. You're right. That's what Fantasy Fellowship says. I panicked. Look, I would not, if you don't know it, and I only know it because somebody, in our Discord mentioned it the other day. I knew it only because somebody said it. I would 100 if I was like on the clock looking for him, and you're, H Brown. Who the fuck is H Brown? Where's Marquise? Where's Hollywood? This is really good. Why Dad says I wouldn't be able to draft anyone else in the first round if they called Amon-Ra God. I think it should say Sun God. It should not say A St. Brown. That's what it says, right? I assume it says A. St. Brown. Yeah. So it should just say Sun God for Amon-Ra. I fully support all of this. Travis Kelce should say Taylor's boyfriend. Right. That's Najee should say Jalen Warren's backup. We should go. Rashi should say I'm going to be in jail probably. We should go down this list of all and put in all of the things that most actually describe these players. If we're going to do the Hollywood thing, I mean, it's only fair. Now I'm happy I have George Kittle, but if Ferguson gets back here, I think I'm gonna be a little pissed because I love Ferguson. I will probably double tap them here, but I'm a little annoyed because now I got to get my gotta is not the right word, but with Josh Allen, I would like to have one of these wide receivers. Okay, hold on. I got to think about this because I know I want one of the Bills wide receivers. I got to decide if I'm going to do the double elite tight end thing or if I want to get to my guy Zamir here. I have Devontae. Yeah, I think I'm going to take. I don't have any Aaron Jones. Let's actually do Aaron Jones. At pick 85 is pretty nice. Pick 85. Aaron Jones is pretty hilarious, actually, when you say it out loud. I love Jake Ferguson. Love him. Big fan. But I think given this zero RB structure, round 8 is where I really want to start looking at those guys. I love, as much as I love the double elite tight end, I think I want to, when I've already taken an elite tight end, I've already taken Josh Allen. I certainly needed a wide receiver there to get to 5 through 8. I think I want to capitalize on that running back pocket a little bit more often than the second tight end. I will take some of those. I will definitely take some of those. Ferguson there, or Njoku there. But I mostly, especially on drafters, this is a better pick on drafters. That running back pocket is so nice. If I didn't have Josh Allen there, I think it'd be a little different. But since I dipped my toes in the Josh Allen waters, I think I want to hit that running back pocket. So this is funny. Eric, another Eric, but with a C, so he spells it wrong. Heard you say that you're from St. Louis. I have to ask you the St. Louis question. Yeah, for anybody that doesn't know, this is always the St. Louis. It's a stupid thing that we do in St. Louis. Everybody, when you meet some, oh, you're from St. Louis. What high school did you go to? That's what everybody always says. I'm actually from the Illinois side, so I say St. Louis because I live 15 minutes away. I'm technically an Illinois resident, and I went to Mascoutah High School, Mascoutah. That was a chant that happened, and that's how I will always spell it. We'll spell it like the chant. But on the Illinois side, just right outside in the suburb. For anybody, if you're not a geography guru, why I always say I'm from St. Louis is because even though I'm in Illinois, not even the same state, is because St. Louis is right, literally on the border. There is the Mississippi River that runs right down next to St. Louis, which is the border of Missouri and Illinois, and I'm on the Illinois side of said border. Ledoux, eh? You're fancy. I'm in for this. We desperately need a running back named Booby. I'm in. I'm totally in. Is this for real? Oh, he legally changed. Okay. Well, did Tank change his name? Did Tank Dell? Melch, you're our resident detective now. We need to know. Did Tank Dell also change his name? And that's why he's displayed as Tank and not Nathaniel, which is his real name. I got family in Decatur. Shuby says he went to college in Decatur. Milliken? Did you go to Milliken? I visited Milliken. We played against Milliken. I went to Illinois College, played against Milliken every year, week 1. When I was at IC, we played Milliken. Week 1, baby. All right, let's take a look. This is such a sweet running back pocket, but god damn, you fuckers really took all the fun, guys. Okay, I'm gonna take B-Rob for sure. Is Shakir gone? Yes. What's tight end looking like? Gross. What's quarterback looking like? I could do Purdy Kittle, but when I take Josh Allen, I really want to ride Josh Allen. Don't take that inappropriately. I really want, and I'm really trying to load up on some Tajay. Dare I say Tajay is better on drafters? He's a good pass catcher. I think. I know James Conner was there. I want to bet. I'm lower on James Conner than market with Trey Benson there. Put me in a grave again, James Conner. I get it, but I'll get to James Conner. Honestly, after I would take him after all, or I would take him ahead of all these guys. So B-Rob is over him for me. Tajay is over him for me. I would take Conner over the rest of these running backs that are here. It's just I need to see Tajay gone. I genuinely think Tajay could be the one in Tennessee. I don't think it's crazy. I think we're anointing Tony Pollard. I think I saw Josh or Hayden from Underdog post something about them, about that backfield. And I mean, at worst, it's a split, right? Like they basically told us that already, that the Pollard signing kind of makes sense for them because they I actually love this. This actually made me slightly bullish on the Titans, as bullish as you can be about a Will Levis, DeAndre Hopkins, Calvin Ridley offense. But they wanted to have 2 running backs, both with the skill sets, like similar skill sets. So it's not this old school football, right? Old school football is frequently, you are our early down runner, you are our third down back, you are our gadget back. And it's such a tell to the defense, right? Like Garrett Blount comes out, James White comes in. Guess what? Now the Patriots had the advantage of Tom fucking Brady, so it's a little bit different. But the different, like when the guy, no matter who's in the game, you can do absolutely everything in your playbook, and the defense can't like judge tendencies. I do think that's important, but that's also important for us to know, because we could get big games out of both of these guys. Tajay is just so much cheaper that I do prefer him. I think it's possible Pollard is a little bit dusty, but not necessarily. I'm still going to draft some Tony Pollard. I just prefer Tajay. I don't think I've ever met Shuby. I had no idea that you went to Milliken. I'll be honest with you. I don't think I mean, other than the people that I know from Milliken from playing like football and stuff against them, I had no idea. I had no idea that you went to Milliken. That's really funny. Al says, great tweet about Silva. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. It was just we recorded, Kareem and I recorded a new episode of Legendary Sickos. If you're not familiar, if this is your first time hanging out, Pat Kareem, founder of Legendary Upside, winner of Best Ball Mania, and I do a weekly recorded show. So it's not a live stream, weekly recorded show / podcast about, different subjects in best ball strategy. We actually did during the intro, I wanted to talk about Evan a little bit. So I won't go into detail about it. But if you do want to check it out, I posted a tweet with kind of my why Evan is an important person to me. Like, we're not like, he's not like my closest friend of all time or anything. It's not like we talk on the regular. And he even works for what some people might say is a competitor. I don't really view things that way. But Evan is stepping away at ETR. And I think I just wanted to share why he is such a great person and why he has had such an awesome, huge, like, I would not be here if it weren't for Evan Silva. Spike Week wouldn't be here if it weren't for Evan Silva. And he's a really great person, and the fantasy industry wouldn't be what it is without Evan. So if you want to hear kind of that story, I posted it on Twitter, so you can go check that out. All right. Oh my God. You know what? I also don't have any TJ Hawkinson, and dare I say he's worse on drafters, but it's interesting. I can't though. I just can't do it, guys. I'm taking Sharbs. F and A. Christ almighty. What I do kind of like this because it's forcing me to a little bit of a different team than I would normally draft. I'm gonna do Josh Downs, do a little Josh Downs action here. But I'm pretty into Charbonnet. I liked him as a prospect, and I think that situation, if I was a betting man, like if you said, I'm not giving you odds, pick who's going to be the week one lead back on the Seahawks, I would of course say Ken Walker, just like everybody else would. But this coach, this new regime without Pete Carroll, new offensive scheme and all that, they didn't draft either of these guys. And then they did not draft anybody else. I think Ken Walker's a really unique football player in that, from like a success rate perspective and from a getting what's blocked perspective and from a pass blocking and pass catching perspective, he can leave things to be desired in some of the, and he's a home run hitter and a really good runner, but those things can often matter to coaches. And Charbonnet is kind of the opposite of Ken Walker, where he's probably not going to pop a bunch. You're not going to juke a guy in the backfield and bounce it to the sideline and run down the sideline for 70 yards. That's not his game, but he's going to be a battering ram as a runner. He's going to protect the passer, and he's going to catch the ball out of the backfield. He's going to get what's blocked. And so I think it's legitimately conceivable that Charbonnet is just the actual lead in that backfield. Now, not like I would not have said that last year. It was Ken Walker for sure. But once you replace the coaches, things change, and there's fragility in this backfield. So again, specifically when you're drafting like a zero running back team, that's appealing because we know at worst he's the backup, right? We also know at worst he's probably going to play. It's not like Ken Walker's not going to play every snap. So you have the 1B or the 2, whatever you want to call it. You have a guy who's going to play at least like 30% of the snaps, just ballparking. Might be the passing down back, might be the goal line back, and could just be the guy. And so I think he's kind of a guy I keep drafting quite a bit. I like this. Hoosier says Josh Downs even flying under the radar. Yeah, I like Josh Downs as a football player. I, like everyone else, have the concerns about it's an Anthony Richardson offense. Michael Pittman is obviously the one. Jonathan Taylor is, a focal point of the offense. So how can Josh Downs have like the big spike weeks? Like that's ultimately, even though it's cumulative scoring where people are like, I need you to score every week. Week one matters. How you win is the big weeks. Like even if the guy only contributes like 1 week for you, if it's a huge spike week, if it's a 30-point game, that's really valuable. There was the stretch this year, what is it, 2 weeks or 3 weeks, where Donta Foreman, you remember Donta Foreman on the Bears, popped for a couple of huge weeks. He was useless for most of the season, but he had 2 or 3 big weeks. And that happened to be when Kyron was out and Achane was out. So it was a little lucky, but you actually kind of needed this weird situation where Donta Foreman only had a couple good weeks, but you actually needed him because his big weeks happened to be when Kyron Williams and Devon Achane had their down weeks. But you wanted those two guys because they were such big hits. So it's like that weird thing where, you're trying to balance these different things. Does Josh Downs have that upside? I'm not sure, but I am fairly sure he's good, or like good, decent. And I was in a spot where after we take Sharps off the board, I'm not in love with what's going on. And so, Jesus Christ, Kamani Vidal, the Kamani Vidal price, guys. Okay, I'm definitely taking Tyler Algier. I don't think I can take Kamani Vidal at pick 157. I'm sorry. I love you guys. That I say that, and like it's Javon Baker. Let's look at quarterback. Don't love this either. Well, we got 10 seconds to pick a really shitty player. Let's just do Polk. When in doubt, take the rookie. When in doubt, take the wide receiver. When in doubt, take the rookie. Can combine both of those things even better. Let's see. Oh, great question from Y Dad. Shout out to you, by the way. I appreciate you. Have tons of great questions and comments in the Discord. You're also one of the few people that will talk hoop with me, and I appreciate that. I'm an NFL guy forever, and I always will be. But goddamn, I love basketball, and NBA playoffs are the best. And I appreciate you, Y Dad, for being one of my fellow hoop brother. I noticed you never draft J.K. Dobbins this year. After being his biggest believer last year. Yeah, he was my highest owned running back last year. You think he's done one ACL injury too many? Yeah. So a couple things. The J.K. Dobbins has obviously changed teams, so that's certainly part of it. The Ravens, so it was a combination last year of the talent, the lack of other additions in that backfield. Certainly, I did not see Keaton Mitchell coming. Okay. So I'm not sure the Ravens did either. So it was J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards and Justice Hill. Again, they were running it back with that, meaning they certainly had confidence in J.K. Dobbins. I believed in J.K. Dobbins' talent, and I still believe in J.K. Dobbins' like talent profile. But the Ravens are kind of the tide that lifts all boats from a running back perspective. What the Ravens do schematically, both schematically and just because they got that dude at quarterback. When you got Lamar Jackson, your running game is just efficient, and he was going to be the passing down back, or at least catch passes for sure, more so than Gus. And so it was like a kind of this perfect combination of all these things. And the Ravens did have a lot to do with it in terms of JK, but I did believe in his talent, to your point. But then you do tack on like another like super serious injury. It's a big deal. I'm open to adjusting my stance on J.K. Dobbins, but I believe I have him ranked like he went way past ADP, and I have him ranked way past ADP. So he's going to have to fall a lot for me to personally pull that trigger, because we're now compounding injuries, and one injury I'm mostly willing to kind of like write it off a little bit, like Brees last year. When you show me you're really good, you're still young, and it's just like one ACL tear, like I'll probably be willing to buy the discount on you because the market will probably dip it. But it's interesting because he's cheaper than he was, but he's not in the same situation as he was before. And the market hasn't discounted him as much as kind of I thought that they would, because everybody wants the Chargers backfield. And so I'm just not doing it with Dobbins. I'm open to being wrong about that. And I'm open to adjusting later too, right? Like that's the great thing is it's May, man. I can change in July or August. If I decide what I've seen from Dobbins is enough to start taking him, I can take him then. But as of right now, I would rather put my chips elsewhere. Sorry, I'm trying to. My only Dobbins share is with Tom. I was on Tom's DraftKings show. Was that last week, Tom? And I blame Tom. It was his fault. That's why we took J.K. Dobbins on that team. Boy, oh boy. Okay. I see my guy Malik here. The Malik Washington ADP is so funny from site to site. I'm actually going to take Chuba. RB6 Chuba sounds good. So this is going to be a 2882 team, I think. Good Lord, these quarterbacks fall. All right, let's look at tight end. I'm pretty sure Taysom is the right pick here, actually. Oh no, did I draft 2 tight ends with the same bye? Okay, no. But you do see I have the warning sign on. If you can see on your screen, the bye weeks will light up in red. Basically, it's telling you have a bunch of week 12 buys. It's not saying don't draft a guy with week 12 bye, right? I don't believe in that. I think everybody should do their own thing. It's just saying like, hey, by the way, which I didn't see. I literally clicked the button and didn't even see it. We built the tool and I'm not even letting it help me. But it's just saying like, by the way, you have like several different guys with the week 12 bye. Just be aware of that when you take that guy. White Dad says, injury apart, is the situation he's in seems really great. A coach who loves to run, a dusty RB1 and a late rookie RB2-3, no wide receiver. So my counter to this, when you get to the point of a coach who loves to run and no wide receivers, I would absolutely push back on the situation he's in is really great. The best fantasy running backs don't come from teams who refuse to pass and have no talent to move the football. You need to be on scoring offenses and efficient offenses. You don't get there from getting 25 2-yard carries. And he's not going to get that because even like, okay, so Gus Edwards goes down. So he's going to split the backfield with Gus Edwards as our assumption right now, right? If he gets hurt, you need him to like become the workhorse. My expectation, given his injury history, is that he doesn't have like the workhorse thing is not in his range of outcomes. So now he's sharing with Vidal or he's sharing with someone else off the street. Isaiah Spiller is still there. I don't know. Right. So you have a non-workhorse running back on a team with Josh Palmer as its best wide receiver. And all they want to do is run. I don't call that a great situation. I call that the coach wants to run, but like wanting to run and being in a great situation for fantasy are two very different things. Shuby asks, I haven't clicked Chuba yet. Is he not the RB3? Who's the RB2? If Chuba's RB3, who's RB2? Chuba's RB2. And Jonathan Brooks probably brought it along a little slowly. I think it could be a little bit of a timeshare the whole year. Don't say Miles. Don't you dare say Miles Sanders. Miles Sanders he's in the shadow realm, my man. While we're here, we picked up more people are watching. If you didn't see, we're giving away. Stop it, Shuey Miles. If you're watching and you want to be we're in round 17. After round 20, we're going to give away a free ticket to this NFL Best Ball Championship. All you have to do, I posted the Google sheet in the chat. Enter your name in the first column, as you'll see with all the other people there in the chat. Oh my God, we're back on the clock. This is disgusting. Oh, no, it's not. No, it's not. It's not disgusting. It's never disgusting when Evan Hull is on the board. I really should have done a better job of planning ahead here. So I think I'm going to end up taking a quarterback that I don't like. Oh no. Oh no, I timed out. Oh no. Shit. What are you talking about? Chuba sucked last year? How? The Panthers sucked. He was good. He was the only thing good about the whole goddamn offense other than Thielen for the first couple weeks. Yeah, it definitely happens, Al. It shouldn't ideally happen when you're on a show talking about putting together a winning team. But I'm not honestly that upset with Jonnu. Yeah. So we can't simultaneously talk about J.K. Dobbins as a good pick on a shit offense with no wide receivers and then say Chuba's bad because of his yards per carry. Chuba was solid. He's on the worst offense in the NFL. Like, it's not easy to be efficient as a runner when there's no threat of the pass and a bad offensive line. So Chuba was like, came on pretty damn. He took over the backfield and was pretty solid given the environment that he was in. Miles Sanders was worse. Want to know how we know Miles Sanders was worse? He lost his job to Chuba Hubbard, and Raheem Blackshear got on the field by the end over Miles Sanders. But yes, now I need a quarterback. I'm not happy, okay? But honestly, I kind of don't hate Jonnu on this team. If I'm being totally honest. I really didn't want him, but I kind of don't hate it. I've made worse picks. Certainly made worse timeout picks. That's for sure. But also, I had to order a new computer because my main computer broke. I'm going to keep using this as an excuse. It's not an excuse, but I'm going to keep using this as an excuse. I'm on the backup. It's mega slow. It's howling over here. You guys can't hear it, but I can hear it even over my AirPods. I agree with this. Tyler says, please like and sub or the feds will re-release Eric's Cole Turner exposure. At 12% Cole Turner and the best Cole Turner team in the history of best ball. Come at me, bro. Let me know when somebody else finishes. I'm not talking shit to you, Tyler, by the way. I'm just being stupid. Let me know when anybody else can finish 12th in Best Ball Mania with a Cole Turner team. And a Kenny Pickett team, by the way. Let me know. Sam Laporta and Cole Turner were my funny you mentioned The Witcher. My wife is a huge Witcher fan. Huge Witcher fan. Also, The Witcher is legit good. But they're replacing what's his name? Guy who plays Superman. What? Henry Cavill. Henry Cavill. Thank you. Thanks, dude. Have a good Friday. Henry Cavill, phenomenal. Phenomenal as The Witcher. Legit good. And he's gone. He's gone. Another thing that I'm well aware of, not because I've seen it, wife loves Bridgerton. She's watching. Harry Potter. So we're on all of the Harry Potter, Witcher, Bridgerton. I haven't been roped into. I do like Harry Potter and I like Witcher. Witcher was really good. Oh, they replaced Henry Cavill is no longer the Witcher. They have a new season coming and it's Liam Hemsworth. Yeah, me thinks that Tyler needs to get a life. Drake May, it's his. Worked out fine. We got the Drake May, Jalen Polk stack. Now the question is, I think it's got to be. We got 7 running backs. It's got to be wide receiver, not KJ Osborne. Where is I want to do. I need to get a little sprinkle more Bo Melton. Let's see. I agree. Lion says, Lion, shout out to Lion, by the way, who wins this goddamn free ticket giveaway every draft that we do, apparently. By the way, if you've won one of these or you are a sub, like we talked about, or you sub here until June, the first batch, it's going to be a little batch related. So you're not going to get your ticket like immediately. The drafters folks will have your stuff from me this weekend, and you'll get your free ticket added. I'll put out probably an alert in the Discord and next week on this show to let everybody know that, the tickets have been put into people's accounts. But I totally agree with that sentiment. Let's quickly see. This made me laugh. When people come just to troll, it's such a weird, like, we're here. It's Friday night. We're trying to have fun and draft a best ball team. It's so strange that people, like, I feel a little bad. Like, your life is you're trolling people on a Discord, and they did better than you in best ball, and you're trolling their best ball takes. Tough scene. I actually didn't know this. Hoosier says Chuba finished higher than Josh Jacobs, Eckler, JT, Ramondre, and Aaron Jones. Fantasy football is weird. All right, let's run down this team. I like this. May I poke your? Sometimes you get lucky. I was not going to take Drake May, and I autoed Jonnu Smith, and honestly, it kind of worked out. I tend to prefer two tight ends with an elite, even with George Kittle, but I think that this is fine, especially Taysom as the tight end 2, and honestly George Kittle as the tight end 1. The variance of they're going to have big games, or that's what you're drafting them for, the historical big game spike week production. But I think filling in with a Jonnu is actually okay. It's not my preference, but I think it's okay. Did I post the one last time? One last time, last chance while I read this. Yeah, Al says, Lion, you max your free tickets every goddamn. You have 3, right? Lion won 3, and the spins are like, I mean, it's not like there's only 2 people in here. There's a bunch of people with their name. I'm looking at the names on here, and some you guys are funny, but like, I don't know how you keep winning. It's crap. This is good, but again, if you haven't joined, the link to the Google Doc is in the chat. All right. We'll just run it down position by position. Josh Allen and Drake May. I got to say, Drake May, 228th overall, is pretty sick. Also, pretty fun fit next to Josh Allen. Obviously, we're trying to win this with the 0 running back team. Aaron Jones, Brian Robinson, Tyjae Spears, Zach Charbonnet, Tyler Algier, Chuba Hubbard, and Evan Hull. That is a running back room I personally am a big fan of. Some people may not be, but I love that. I actually love mixing in those ambiguous backfields alongside using Aaron. How many years in a row have people drafted like a hero running back or anchor running back team with Aaron Jones? Now we can do that with him at pick 85 on the Minnesota Vikings. Which is not really that much of a worth. Understand JJ McCarthy, but we were drafting him much higher with Jordan Love, so I'm into this. The other option was Zamir White instead of Aaron Jones, but I'm into this. Marvin Harrison, Devontae Adams, T. Higgins, Chris Godwin, Curtis Samuel stacked with Josh Allen, Josh Downs, Jalen Polk stacked with Drake May, and Bo Melton is just a last round wide receiver I'm trying to mix in. I'm bullish on Green Bay. I think Bo Melton showed us down the stretch that he's not just a throwaway wide receiver in the Green Bay room. He really popped up at the end he was meaningful, not like crazy, but pretty meaningful on that offense. I don't think he's a 0, and I don't think that any of those other wide receivers, maybe sans Jaden Reed, are like insurmountable if he's actually good. George Kittle and Taysom Hill was my original tight end room until we autoed Jonnu Smith, but I'm comfortable with a Kittle, Taysom Hill, Jonnu team. I do like this team. Yeah. Charles, you nailed it. Literally what I would love in all of these drafts, especially on drafters. I said it on a drafter show before. I've written about it. I don't stop talking about it. The Pittsburgh running backs, the Cincy running backs, Devin Singletary. There's the reason why I'm obsessed with zero running back is the whole pocket for sure, but that specific collection is what I'm really, really heavy on. And so naturally, when it's 11 other people here that think like me and are much smarter than me, I'm not going to get those guys. Hoosier says running back room seems a bit light. That's what I'm supposed to say when reviewing a draft. You absolutely nailed it. Love your wide receivers. Love Josh Allen. Big George Kittle fan. Little worried about your running backs. Little worried. That's how you nailed it. Oh yeah, for sure. Drafting the wide receiver 5 on a depth chart is scary, but it's ambiguous and he's talented. I worry less about depth. Certainly in May, I worry less about depth chart and more about, do you have ability to rise the depth chart or make the depth chart irrelevant? It's okay, Al. I forgive you. Most people spell it wrong. I get it. I appreciate you. Thank you for joining us. I agree. Yeah. McCaffrey, don't love it. Agree. All right. Let's. Oh, I don't have the wheel pulled up. Hold on. This is my fault. Michael, welcome. This is amazing. Nailed it. If we can agree that best ball is a dangerous drug, then drafting best ball teams on drafters is correct. I love it. That's so good. All right. Let me get the wheel set. There's a bunch of names in here. Yeah, my computer is real slow, guys. I'm sure I'm on your end lagging and hold on. We got a couple blanks. All right. Yeah, Michael nailed it. Michael, are you interested in a job in best ball? All right. Wheel of names, free ticket time. Let's do it. Here we go. David, Josh. Hit me up. I know Josh. Josh, I've seen you around Twitter, Discord, all that kind of stuff. Shoot me a DM wherever you would like. And I will get you on that first free ticket distribution over this weekend. Just thank God that Lion did not win another one. People would start having some questions. Lion, you don't have your real name. You are Lion the Dark. And if you kept winning, people would be concerned about the sanctity of these free ticket giveaways. So shout out Josh. Shout out all of you guys for joining us. This was a ton of fun. And of course, remember, if you have not signed up for Spike Week, if you are at all interested, there's zero pressure to sign up. But if it's something that you've been wanting to test out, from now until the end of June is a great time because you're going to get a free drafters entry if you sign up before June 30th or before July 1st. By June 30th, you will get a free entry. Plus, of course, every one of these drafter streams, which will happen every single week, will give away a free ticket as well. Ton of fun. Thanks, you guys. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Go Knicks. Go Knicks. We need the Knicks, boys. NBA playoff basketball. We need the Knicks. Let's do it. Have a good weekend. I'll see you guys next week. Peace.
Woo! Those were some spicy takes. Want to stay up to date with all of the other spicy takes we're going to have over here at Spike Week? Why don't you press that subscribe button below? You turn notifications on, we draft a team, boom, you know about it. We have another spicy take, boom, you know about it. You can be there. You can draft with us. You want to stay up to date. That's how you do it. All right, we'll catch you later next time here at Spike Week.